in a secret location outside Thailand. He vows that he's not behind the violence, but he was playing a coordinating role during the civil unrest and remains involved.
Yes, we have had a group that help with the advice, with the suggestions to the leaders at the stage.
Do you think the suggestions you made were the right ones, now that we've seen how things unfolded?
It was not about the right and wrong of the advice, it's about the disorganization of the mass rally. I believe that it came to the point that the leaders on stage had become less vigorous than the people who joined the rally.
They'd lost control of the group.
I think so. The crackdown on April and May this year was brutal, inhumane, but expected.
You say that the crackdown was brutal and inhumane, but the weapons weren't only on the government side, were they? You accept that?
I accepted that, but I would not accept the government's version that there was any organized uprising against them.
That may be the case, although we did see a number of grenade attacks. We do know that there was an element of the red shirt movement that was more heavily armed than the way that you suggest. And even since the protests, we've seen a number of bombings, one quite recent in Bangkok. Who's coordinating that?
We don't know.
Not you?
And I could say that it's not me.
You're not coordinating any sort of armed uprising?
No. It's not anyone related to us at all.
Jakrapob Penkare claims he'd be killed if he returned to Thailand. He's in exile, and the other red shirt leaders are in jail or hiding as well. He also says that former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra may leave the movement altogether. So how can it achieve the change that it wants?
It's still a stalemate position.
Yes.
You're not talking. There's no option for reconciliation. Where is Mr Thaksin in all of this in terms of being involved in the day-to-day strategy of the movement?
Yes, I would say that he's still in the picture. He remains a strong symbol to our movement, but he's pondering the next steps, and that would be for him more than for the movement.
What do you mean?
I think that he is re-evaluating whether or not it is the fight worth fighting.
Really?
Maybe.
Why?
I couldn't say for him. I haven't worked with him closely enough to say that, but I think that people in the movement, Thaksin included, have the right to reposition themselves. That's all I can say.
You think he might decide to bow out, take a back seat?
I wouldn't say that, but I think that he has the right to be pondering about it.
Where would that leave the movement if the rank and file of the movement lost their symbolic leader?
The confronting issue is that how the movement would get its support. And in the past year, it proves that the support could come from elsewhere. It doesn't have to come from Thaksin and his family or his assigned people.
You're talking money now.
Talking money, talking about the safe place to stay, talking about the cooperation of respective governments in the countries that we visit or stay. All those things we have been receiving in a more natural way than before. In other words, we have had such a control system before. And then it's quite a relief to see that in the past year, there are a lot more universal support too, of course. But we have the duty to make it clearer to the people out there, especially foreigners.
So you're saying that others are donating financially to the cause to keep you going?
Yes, they have.
Internationally as well as Thais?
Especially internationally.
Jakrapob Penkare, thanks for your time.